A very good evening and welcome to Eswatini TV's 8 p.m. news broadcast with Nondobego Nzapkelwago. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines. The Indian High Commissioner to Eswatini has donated 100 indigenous trees to the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs. The Family Life Association of Eswatini will be conducting a free screening for cancer in the month of October. The rains that are currently being experienced in the country will continue until next week. The news in detail. The Minister for Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, says planting trees will assist the country adapt to climate change. The minister was speaking in Mbabane during a tree planting event where the Indian High Commissioner, Radha Venkataraman, donated 100 indigenous plants.
The Indian High Commissioner Radha Venkataraman donated 100 trees to the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs as a sign of celebrating Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birthday. The trees were planted in Mbabane Coronation Park that was identified by the Municipal Council of Mbabane. The Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs donated 50 trees. Indian High Commissioner Radha Venkataraman says that they will continue to assist the government of Eswatini in the tree planting campaign.
The High Commissioner of India is joining the initiative of creating a mini urban forest at designated places by planting more than 100 trees of indigenous origin.
The Minister for Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, encouraged the Maswati to plant trees.
Trees in the lives of the Maswati are a symbol which reminds us of nature, climate change, and environmental protection. Planting of trees, therefore, by all the Maswati will ensure sustainable preservation of our cultural and traditional heritage for the benefit of the tourism sector. The recently launched tree planting program presents such huge opportunities for the different stakeholders to work together in saving our environment.
Mbabane Municipal Council Mayor Sikumbuzo Dube says the Municipal Council is eager to assist government in programs that are aimed at preserving the environment. The Prime Minister last week launched the Plant a Tree, Save the Environment campaign, where government targets to plant 10 million trees in 5 years. For Eswatini TV, Sondomlangeni, Temgosi Mavimbela, Mbabane.
The Family Life Association of Eswatini says screening for cancer, especially breast cancer, will be free of charge this month in October for everyone in the kingdom, and people should use this to their advantage. This was said by FLAS senior nurse Fortune Mapendeme when they were engaging in Maswati together with the Eswatini Breast and Cervical Cancer Network on issues about the disease.
On the 1st of October, the Minister of Health, Liz Nkosi, launched the Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the country, where attention and awareness about the disease will be brought up to everyone. The Family Life Association of Eswatini and the Eswatini Breast and Cervical Cancer Network have already started in ensuring that people are made aware about the disease. The senior nurse Fortune Matamende says this month they hope to screen a high number of people without any difficulties and reach out to people in all regions in the country.
It's a breast cancer awareness month. We would like to encourage everyone in the nation to cooperate and to go to health facilities so that you screen for cancer. And the cancers that we do screen for, of course, this month is breast cancer screening, but we would like to integrate every screening services for cancer.
The Eswatini Breast and Cervical Cancer Network Public Relations Officer Nolwazi Dlamini says if everyone in the kingdom joins in the fight of ending all types of cancer, cancer can be easily eradicated in the country.
We are just glad that as an organization they saw it fit to partner with us during the month of October to ensure that the screening services are given out to the public and offered at no cost.
Health experts encourage early screening of cancer as early detection makes the disease easier to treat and the chances of dying from that cancer reduced. For Eswatini TV News, Temalangen Dlamini with Muslim Konda, Mbabane.
Let's take a look at the COVID-19 update from the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health has reported 21 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country in the last 24 hours. In a statement issued by the Ministry of Health, a total of 273 results were received today, out of which 21 tested positive for coronavirus, which brings the total number of cases in the country to 5,521. The statement further shows that there are 328 active cases, 5,061 have recovered, 111 are deceased, and 21 have been registered for care. Looking at the cumulative confirmed cases by region, Manzini region has 2,493 cases, Owo region has 2,085 cases, Shiselweni region has 479 cases, and the Lubombo region has 464 cases of the coronavirus. Manzini North Member of Parliament Markford Sibanze has donated 3,000 face masks to St. Paul's High School that will be distributed to pupils to protect themselves against the COVID-19 virus. The face masks were received by the head teacher, Begi Fagute.
In ensuring that school children are protected from the COVID-19 disease, the Member of Parliament of Manzini North, Markford Sibanze, has donated face masks to St. Paul's High School that will be given to pupils to protect them against the disease. The Member of Parliament says it is important to assist pupils during the COVID-19 pandemic as others do not have enough masks to wear, yet the Ministry of Health encourages people to at least have 3 face masks.
And I think it is a duty of every member of society to assist where we can. So I took it as one of my responsibilities to reach out a hand to those who won't be able to reach a hand.
The head teacher, Begi Fagute, expressed his gratitude and says the donation will be of great help, especially to children in need.
The gift will play a very vital role in making sure that when a child comes to school, in case he or she has forgotten his at home, she will be able to get one at school. As the Minister of Health normally says that a person has to have more than 2 masks, so that the one he's using, when it feels like it's becoming damp, it can change. So this mask will play a very vital role.
When announcing the opening of schools, which include Form 5, Form 3 and Grade 7 in the country, the government mentioned that it is required for people to wear face masks in schools at all times. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Temalangen Dlamini in Manzini.
The Director of Meteorology, Duduzile Nhlengedva, has urged the nation to take precautions during hailstorms. Nhlengedva says people should be cautious in rivers as rains are expected to fall in the first half of next week. She was speaking when presenting the prospective cumulative rainfall in her offices in Babane.
The Meteorology Department, when announcing the seasonal weather forecast last week, revealed that rains are expected to be normal to above normal this year. Some parts of the country are experiencing rains that began on Saturday. The director for the Meteorology Department, Duduzile Nhlengedva, has warned Eswatini to stay away from rivers as rains are expected till next week.
Our indicators are that this will go on even into the first half of next week, and we will continue to monitor how far these rains will be ongoing for. However, we do get some light moments, or even in some areas sometimes where we have those openings, but generally we are having a wet week and even more than a week, which calls for all Eswatini to take precaution. Yesterday we also saw some hailstorms and some windstorms, and this is the season where such things happen with our thunderstorms. So we request Eswatini to take caution whenever we say there will be thunderstorms. be aware that these things might happen and take the necessary precautions. And at this time where it's raining continuously, we request that Eswatini take caution. In our waterways, the water levels might be above what we are accustomed to. We need to take precaution.
The cumulative rainfall report for different parts of the country issued by Nhlengedva shows that on Thursday, Sitegi received the highest rainfall with 84.5 milliliters, followed by Mbabane with 42.8 milliliters. Mananga received 14.0 millimeters, which is the least rainfall, followed by Nhlangano with 12.0 millimeters. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni with Muzim Konda in Mbabane.
Failure to accept returned goods by customers in supermarkets is one of the things that suppresses customer rights that business owners need to be careful of. This is said by the Customer Service Week organizer, Dr. Oliver Msega, during the launch of the Customer Service Week aimed at promoting customer rights.
A customer is important in any business, thus annually the Customer Service Week emphasizes the importance of customer rights. It has been observed that so far most, though not all businesses, people now are cautious of customer rights. The organizer of the Customer Service Week, Dr. Oliver Museka, says they have seen change in service delivery and customer treatment ever since they started the campaign.
Still have people that are lapsing and they're lagging behind in terms of good customer service. And it is to those that we are sending a message to say we need to understand the importance of the customer in the business, because the core of the business is the customer. Without a customer, there is no business.
Most customers are also knowledgeable and aware of their rights. I am Kian MCB for Eswatini TV News, Manzini.
The director of SWACA, Nonhlanhla Dlamini, has applauded journalists for the role they have played in reporting about gender-based violence in our society, which in a way has ensured that survivors get help. The director was speaking after a meeting with different media houses, which was held virtually.
Upon seeing the increasing numbers of gender-based violence in our societies, the Eswatini Action Group Against Abuse, SWAGA, organized a virtual meeting with an organization called the International Commission of Jurists, ICJ, and journalists from media houses, where they were discussing how to improve reporting on gender-based violence and challenges still faced by journalists on that aspect. The director of SWAGA, Nonhlanhla Dlamini, says the meeting went well, journalists participated.
Besakhelo bhukwana lotawusebenta online lo akhelwe tinsathele ukuthi tikhone kusitakala ikakhulukazi nathi tisa reporter ngawo lama cases GBV.
She says they are yet to organize training of journalists and editors, and also how to improve on follow-up stories once they have reported a certain story, to ensure that the survivors do get help afterwards. In Eswatini, 1 in 3 females have experienced gender-based violence, and by the time they reach 18 years of age, 48% of women report to have experienced some form of sexual violence in their lifetime. I am Kian Msibi with Tembekosi Mavimbela, Manzini.
The High Court has ruled that Happiness Taylor, who was abandoned by her mother, be given Insula Nyembeti, which was part of her dowry, and 2 cows as progeny. Happiness's mother left the country for South Africa when the applicant was 6 months old. Happiness had her cousins taken to court demanding the Insula Nyembeti.
Happiness Vagazi Taylor had taken her cousins to court demanding that she be given Insula Nyembeti, which was part of her dowry. She wanted the Insula Nyembeti to come with progeny. Happiness said she needed the cow because she had financial challenges. Happiness was raised by Welile Zondo and Meshak Kumalo after she was left by her mother, who went to South Africa. The couple died in 2004, while Happiness married the following year, whereafter her husband died on that very year. Her husband died after paying dowry, which Happiness said was made up of a herd of 8 cattle, which included Lugeke and Insula Nyembeti. Sibongile Mabuza, who is a daughter to the parents who raised Happiness, and Jabulile Zondo argued that the applicant's dowry was 4 cattle, 2 of which died, while 2 were used to prepare for Umhlambiso, a ceremony where the bride gives gifts to the groom's family. Sibongile, who is an executrix of the late Willie's estate, said there was no lugege or insula mnyembeti paid for happiness. Jabile Zondo, on the other hand, said she heard Tsela, Happiness' husband, shouting that he was paying lobola and there was lugege and insula mnyembeti. However, she said she did not see when it was pointed out. The court said there cannot be a lobola ceremony without lugege and insula mnyembeti. It said Jabile's evidence supports Happiness' version that there was dowry paid and among the cattle there was lugege and insula mnyembeti. The court said insula mnyembeti is solely for the bride's biological mother. It said if the biological mother is not present, the cow is inherited by the youngest brother to the bride. The matter was before Judge Mamsi Dlamini, who said since Happiness has no siblings and her mother vouched never to return even upon her child's death, the insula mnyembeti is inherited by the bride. The court said insula mnyembeti is not given to the bride's father as it is not for maintenance. It said it was for that reason that the insula mnyembeti in the matter cannot be part of Willie's estate. The court then ruled that Sibongile should give the insula mnyembeti and 2 progeny to Happiness. For Eswatini TV News, Temgos Mavimbela, High Court.
The Youth Discovery Organization has introduced a banking concept to the youth which will assist both the unemployed and employed youth with affordable saving solutions. The concept was introduced by the organization's Wandile Zishwili in Menzini.
The Youth Discovery is an organization aimed at creating job opportunities for the youth, where they are presenting a concept of affordable saving solutions to the unemployed and employed youth, which will create job opportunities and wealth. Presenting the organization's concept, Wandile Zishwili says they want to engage the youth to join the concept.
And some of the things that we are doing towards registration and completing registration, we are introducing other people, partners, stakeholders that we have, our advisors, and also the products that we want to introduce, be it innovative operational efficiency in finance, in where we go to other banks and say, can we put this thing or can you underwrite this so that we can collect the monies together and bring it to you.
The CEO of the Eswatini National Youth Council, Makosami Dlamini, applauds this initiative.
Lo kumqoka kakhulu lesigcizelele nalesigcizelela ukubo labantu labasha ukuthi kunetingoni letithide lokufuna ukuthi bathi ukuthi kuhamba kuto nenhadethu le nathi siyi-council kuleli phupho labo sitababambisa sibasupporte.
Currently, the youth is in the larger bracket of the unemployed people in Eswatini, standing at 32.4% currently. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MCB, Manzini.
On the second day of the opening of borders, public transport operators in the interstate sector still see no difference. Operators found in Menzini say people turn back because of the 850 emalangeni they have to pay to test for COVID-19.
From March, cross-border transportation has not been operational as borders were closed due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Despite today being day 2 of the opening of borders, operators see no difference. Gift Sitsebe, who is one of the operators, says customers turn back after being informed that they need to first test for COVID-19 at 850 emalangeni before they can cross over into South Africa.
Awukude lesike sakubona thina lokungumsebenzi. Itolo sibene abantu ababili bajika namhla sibene abantu abasihlanu. Labantu ke bayafika msakade wami la. Bathi bangeva ukuthi kufuneka malini le bajike. Bahamba bangabuyi bayeda wona emaswati enkosi akujabulela kuvula kwamagede. Kepha kithi kufana nokuthi akavula.
Some of the customers are hawkers. Mapauti Dlamini, the Panzela Umdwana chairman, says some hawkers have resolved to use informal crossing points to go to the neighboring country to avoid paying the 850. Dlamini asked members of parliament to intervene.
Siqane bahlonishe sibakhethile. Lebale parliament asabayifaka nje nabo ngelesibili. Oneni lamaswati kangaka bekunene.
At the moment, government says the only acceptable test is the one that costs 850. On Thursday, Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Simon Zwane, said hawkers have to apply for a permit from the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade in the event they needed to cross the border. Director of SME, Meluleki Dlamini, in a telephone interview said their hands are still open to helping hawkers with the permits. For Eswatini TV News, Temgos Mavimbela with Gianni Msibi, Manzini.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we will now take a short break.
We've been drifting, lost at sea. You're so far.
Bring the family together with great specials. Like Kellogg's Cornflakes for only $39.99. And Baby Soft 2-ply toilet rolls, 18s, for just $94.99. We're here for you.
At Build It, I can transform it with quality tiles, and I love it. And with their nano-polished porcelain tiles at only $109.90 per square meter, you can get it and style it. Only at Build It. Together we can.
HIV kanye namalalejoza.
Kubika Sibusiso Ngubane anamba Nwadube tato mindaba galavumisa.
Elizabeth Eswatini TV in LinkedIn kule namba Nwadube. Stemba bye.
Welcome back to the 8 p.m. news bulletin. Let's take a look at our sports news. Eswatini's only professional boxer, Sibonela Nzimanze, says not having a professional boxers association in the country has forced him to compete outside of the country. Nzimanze says this makes it difficult for him to receive financial support and also for him to receive fights.
Sibonela Nzimanze is currently the only professional boxer and he is based in South Africa. Nzimanze turned pro in 2016 where he has 7 fights under his belt and he has won 5 and drew 1 and also lost only 1 game. Nzimanze was currently home because games have been suspended in South Africa because of the coronavirus outbreak. Says it is difficult competing in South Africa since it's hard getting financial support that he needs.
Inkinga lengihlangana nato njengomshayisibhakela Eswatini ukuthi asinayo i-professional boxing ngangwane so
Nzimanze says the biggest challenge he faced was that there is no professional boxing association in the country, which forced him to relocate to South Africa, where he is facing financial challenges because he cannot get sponsors. He says money plays a huge part in the sport because he needs to travel, he needs accommodation, pay for training facilities and food, and he is also struggling to get fights. He says he can't get sponsors in South Africa because he's not from there, and here at home he cannot get any.
Boom trainers, both diet and stuff. So inkinga nje lenkulu ngema-sponsors njengoba nathi ukuthi professional level you need to have ama-sponsors. Mina-ke angikwati kwathola ngale because I'm a foreigner and again at Eswatini I'm struggling to get sponsors.
Nzimanze says he's currently trying to raise money so he can be able to attend the Olympics qualifiers that will be hosted in Paris in March next year. Nzimanze can still compete at the Olympics even though he's a pro because he still have less than 10 fights as a pro which qualifies him for the Olympics. And he says he wants to compete at the 2021 Tokyo, Japan Olympics. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizo Msibi. Mpabane.
The Eswatini Special Olympics president, Louis Ngumalo, says they're very happy with the new sport known as Tekball because having many diverse sporting codes is part of their main objectives. Ngumalo was speaking during the Tekball workshop for Special Olympics coaches at the Olympia Center in Lobamba.
The Special Olympics Association is an association that regulates and organizes sporting activities for people with intellectual disability. The association has since introduced a new sport known as Tekball. The association had a workshop where they were training their coaches about the sport. The president of the Special Olympics Association, Louis Ngumalo, says it is one of their main objectives to introduce many different sporting codes to the association.
Injongo yethu vele is to ngoba sine niyati ukuthi sibuke abantwana with special needs, intellectual disability, and I'm happy to see the children out there will enjoy this game. Sesibonela ukuthi idlala kanjani. Kwesibili ngicela kubonga ukuthi bekuyinjongo yethu ukuthi singu Special Olympics we have more participate in more sporting codes, so that mangabe labantwana sibathumela ngaphandle bawu compete we could hold more medals ngoba nathi ukuthi tsine masiphumile singu Special Olympics vele sibuya nema medals. So ngiyabonga kubo coach laba thite nomaliyana today bede lapha ukuthi sto participate sto funza, and I'm quite certain ukuthi vele sitawuphumela ngaphandle to spread this game.
Tekball General Secretary Nolwazi Ngwenyama says it is their mandate to grow the sport in the country.
Kithi kumcoka kakhulu phathizwe ngoba as part of our mandate ukuthi vele develop siphinde.
Nolwazi says their main target is to grow the sport around the country and allow everyone the opportunity to play without discrimination, be it on gender, age and disability. She says they are happy to have gotten the opportunity to introduce the sport to the Special Olympics. The Special Olympics Association says they already cannot wait to have competitions against other teams, as this seems like an easy sport. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizwe Msibi, Lobamba.
We've come to the end of our news bulletin, but before we wrap up, let's take a quick recap of the headlines. The Indian High Commissioner to Eswatini has donated 100 indigenous trees to the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs. The Family Life Association of Eswatini will be conducting a free screening for cancer in the month of October. The rains that are currently being experienced in the country will continue until next week. Eswatini, that is all the news we had for you tonight. Up next is the weather forecast. Good night and God bless.